Yeah, good Saturday. All right. And happy Valentine's this weekend. Hopefully everybody remembered. I didn't. But she's never been one to be a Valentine gal. Anyway, I don't know if I showed you this yesterday, but yesterday when I was at the Napa store, they were giving out pins that got the stylus tip on it. Works as a pin and a stylus, which comes in handy with this phone, which I can Skype now out here at the farm, and I can probably do some I'll even test that here in a little bit. I'll do a test to see if I can do a phone upload quick and see how that works. Yeah, I've had that phone laying around for about 3 weeks, and I finally, my other phone, I don't like shutting them off until they're quit. My other phone started turning itself off, and it'd be locked in the pocket, and then it'd start doing stuff and trying to dial its own number. I'm like, yep. So when it shut off on me the other day, I said, hell it. Anyway, enough with that. Okay, I got a couple requests for videos to come up. I know one of you is working on a 4.3. I haven't forgot you. I just, all of a sudden, I went from nothing to do to, oh crap, which way do I turn to do? So if I remember, I will include in today the info for you on your 4.3. I'm going to try. And another one wanted to know about having videos of homemade tools. Well, right now in the process of being done is another homemade tool. Wish that goes there, and that. But the main body of it's still off at the school getting machined. And there's a couple of more tools that Buddy's going to make, so there will be a video of homemade tools coming up. I got some my dad made me, and that's all. Yeah, not everything in this building's been bought. It's been made. So this is going to be a, I told him I like his idea, what he's got. I mean, he cut these threads, and the shaft started out as that hexagon shaft or octagon shaft or what? I can't. Anyway, started out as that. The Suburban got the go-ahead. The motor is coming out and going to get rebuilt. Yes, so that will have a new motor in it, which brings me to another thing. Okay, I can literally smell the burnt oil in this motor. I mean, it's got a reek to it, and some of you kind of like, okay, you should see smoke and steam. Well, on these newer vehicles, and years ago I had a pickup. I don't remember if you guys remember last summer we worked on an old white Chevy pickup. I told you guys I built that motor. Here's the problem with, and this was a problem back then. That's been, oh Jesus. That motor was 15 years ago because we didn't even have Crystal yet. Or Squirrel, I mean. So that was before her time when I built that motor. And when I first built that motor, that thing, it ran and it ran hard. But the guy came to me and complained it's using oil. And I said, it can't be. It never, we never had any smoking, no smell out the exhaust. I said, all right, because I guarantee my motors. So I was talking to the father-in-law, which was running the machine shop at the time. Wish he would have never quit. And he says, well, did you check this and this? I'm like, no. Well, he says, well, what intake did you put on that? I said, that brand new, out of the box intake I got from a kid. Never been on a motor. Traded for it, got it. Oh, God. It wasn't a, well, I ain't going to say the name because it doesn't make a difference. And he says, it's your intake. I said, it can't be. He says, it has to be. I said, it's brand new out of the box. He says, I don't know. Yeah, he said, it's the intake. Well, I told the guy, well, bring it back. I'll tear into it. And with the father-in-law telling me that was the intake, I kind of thought, well, before I pull the motor, I'll pull the intake. Pulled the intake off and the gasket. I was like, he might be right. part of the gasket was crushed in spots and wasn't in the others. Now that was a brand new intake out of the box. Flipped it over, put the straight edge on it. That was the worst brand new intake I ever had. The motor ran real decent before. Took it up and he machined that son of a bitch, and that thing was bad. He says, well, they didn't care at the must have been made on a Friday. They were trying to get out the door. He surfaced it, brought it home, put the new intake gaskets on it, put it back together, and that truck would run hard. But after we put it back together that time and had everything sealed up, it could turn. Because the owner goes, what the hell did you do to this thing? I said, why? He says, it'll smoke all 4 tires now. I'm like, oh really? I kind of looked at him and he's like, well, because I said, I know. I said, if I wouldn't have worked on it, I would have swore you had a different motor put in. It was sucking the oil in out of the lifter valley, right in, burning it, sending out the exhaust. And I said, why couldn't we see the smoke out the exhaust? Well, back then they'd already changed the oil enough that what used to make oil smoky out your tailpipes has been removed from the oil. So that's why with the Suburban, that's what I'm leading up to. We got these newfangled, fancier Cadillac converters than we had back then. And that about the only thing that will show up through those Cadillac converters now is the water evaporation. The water vapors. Sorry about that. Water vapors, because water won't burn away. It just steams. Where the oil consumption in that is pretty much burned up and just sent out, because that's what the Cadillac converters are supposed to do. It's supposed to burn it up so it don't go in the atmosphere. So, and then I've seen guys, I've been watching on YouTube, you buy a set of aftermarket heads that are aluminum, put them on, and you lose power. Well, he says the cutoff is around $2,000, $3,000 in that area. If you buy aluminum heads for less than that money, you just plan on when you get them to your door, you take those aluminum heads out and take them to your machine shop, or you fix them yourself, because the valve seats are done incorrectly. The valves don't fit properly. He said, now if you're paying $2,000 to $3,000 and above, those will come out of the box, bolt on, be ready to go. It all goes back to you get what you pay for. So, and it's sad to say that things are not made like they used to be. People used to take pride in doing what they made and making sure it was right the first time. Now they just want to get the money collected, go home, and just keep the money coming in. Keep the product going out, keep the money coming in. So, and I have not given up on the tool to make for the testing of the tranny and the Tahoe. But I don't make money working on my own stuff. So when customer stuff comes up, I'm on it. I gotta be. Otherwise, what I'm doing here is not gonna be much longer. So, I guess with that, I better get my little makeshift time clock started, and I did find out already to get this motor out of this truck, out of the Suburban, it makes it easier to take the intake off. Well, I thought I was going to have help this weekend, but evidently they're going to be busy, so I might, since this is the teardown and I'm making videos, I'm going to keep track of my hours. I know I'm going to go over the hours I quoted the guy, because making the videos and showing you guys and working, I'm going to make money, but I'm going to lose money to do this. But hey, that's what it's about. I want to show what's all involved. So I did learn to take the intake off, and unfortunately, and if I have to, I don't know what I'm going to do then. I really don't. I know the guy that I watched pulled the motor and tranny together, but I really hope not. He had to drop the front differential and suggested to drop the steering rack to get enough clearance for the oil pan to clear to come out. I'm like, oh boy. Well, as you guys can see, oh, I'm already screwed. You want to know why I'm already screwed? Tahoe's, the Suburban's dead. Well, maybe not so bad, but I got to move all this to get to my cherry picker to get it out here. And here's the other problem I got. I got the big tank here, which hasn't found a home yet, which really needs to be running, which this is where I was kind of hoping I was going to have help, because I was going to tear that pump apart, because I really want to check out the bearing in there to make sure that hasn't rusted, because nobody's ever put any grease to this thing. And get that going, get this filled up, and run it the way it is, make sure it works, because then I could clean all the stuff and put that money in my pocket instead of the machinist. But right now time is money, and so yeah, I don't know what I'm going to end up doing here yet. God, I know where there's one, a Denali with a they say it's not the greatest, but they want a little too much for it to part it out. I'd almost put this thing back together, park it outside, take the motor out of that one, rebuild it. Alright, well, irregardless. And you know, maybe if I go ahead and tear the heads and that off, maybe we'll find out we won't have to go all the way into it. And I guess I was talking to one of you guys on Facebook, or yeah, Facebook last night. You know, okay, I've got a MG that I never really work on, that I've got tore apart, but I still can remember, and luckily with that one I remembered, and I took video of that thing and pictures, so I'll be able to put all the accessories on. But I got that car tore apart. Now I have this one tore apart. I've got a transmission over here tore apart. I've got, well, they're tearing that Ford apart for me. Trying to get the motor out and getting that ready to go. And then in the past, a couple of you guys have asked me, how can you keep track of where everything goes? You know, I really don't know myself. I just know I can do it. I don't know how. I've just seen something weird here on this block. And I don't know. I mean, I got all, well, then I got the hot tank tore apart, but I can still, I know which wires go to what, blah, 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 just. Sorry about that. But I guess what baffles me, and I noticed I ain't near as bad as I was when I started on this, but it's just like, got the brain going again, you know. I'm starting to remember where everything is. I've got all these toolboxes. I'm starting to remember where that stuff is. It's all coming back to me again. I guess it, like they say, if you don't use it, you lose it. But I can't. There for a while, you know, you guys were with me. I mean, therefore, just a few months ago, I was having a hard time remembering what I did 5 seconds ago. And then now it's just like things have gotten better. But anyway. Well, you know what? I think this is going to be a 2-part video. I've talked way too long for this to be part of the Suburban. So I guess we're going to make our 2-parter today. And we got a lot going on. I mean, heck, I even got motors sitting here waiting to go together to get down the road. I've got a lot of stuff tore apart. Oh, and the 454 is still here. It's coming. But the 454 is not a priority motor. It's one of those, it's done when it's done deal, because this guy's building the motor and the transmission, and then we're going to start on the car. So all that, he wants all those expenses done and have it all ready to go. So, yeah. So right now that's kind of on the back burner, but not. So I guess once I get this motor out, and if I can still roll this Suburban out of here with spring coming up, I mean in the next 2 to 3 weeks, it would be nice if this snow starts disappearing outside, because I would love to have my outdoor shop space back until I can get an addition on here. There is a building in town I wouldn't mind getting. It was an old car repair shop, but I don't know if I want to go through another move. I don't know. I moved the woodworking shop, and I'm looking back, and that ended up being the worst thing I done. I should have stayed here on the farm. The woodworking, that's just another, yeah. So, anyway, guys, this is the first video from Saturday. I hope you all had a great Valentine's, and we're better get to work. So, all right, stay tuned, because here we start on the Suburban now.